There was a question that came a while ago, but I didn't feel truly willing to provide an answer. And the question asked, what is fear in your opinion? See, when we think about fear, well, fear, if we are to give it the shortest definition possible, fear is the power of your enemy. Fear in the end is nothing else but your imagination unleashed. Because what you perceive as fear, that hormone of fear, is your body reacting to something that you have programmed it towards. If you haven't programmed your body towards that, then it has created, or you subconsciously have created some links in between things that may happen, that are very plausible to happen, and a certain sense of survival. Yes? Because that is fear. Something will happen that will crumble your comfort zone, that will lead probably to your harming or to something survival related. And I remind people that survival isn't just survival of the physical body. There is also survival of the, individual in terms of societal aspects, like societal survival, let's put it so. Your relationships with others, your family, and how easy you find it to socialize with other people, right? Losing friends can trigger fear because, it's the fear of the survival level. And then you have the so called ego, right? The survival of the, let's say, the self, right? That kind of accumulation of thoughts, opinions, and the such that many people identify as the so called self. So, fear in the end is an attachment towards something that you have purely imagined. It rarely happens. And many times when you fear something, does it even happen? It doesn't happen, right? In many cases. In some it does. In some it does even worse. But in most of the situations, or many of the situations, what you fear doesn't even trigger, right? So when we look at things, it is just your imagination. Someone might say if they break a nail, it is such a tragedy because they won't look perfect anymore in their own opinion. So it's what will people tell about them, right? Societal survival. To other people, it might be their survival. They live in dangerous environments. Anything can happen. So their mind is always inventing whatever may happen. See, you don't need to do that because if something happens, it happens. Fear can be good to create a certain plan, not to invest into it, because the more you invest into it, the lower you make your life be, the more you will experience life in distorted realities, right? Fear is an aspect of the mind, and the more you invest into it, your physical body will also perceive it at its entire level. Any emotion that you feel, all the cells in your body also feel, and they will perform their duties in your body in a certain way. Fear will crumble your body slowly and surely. That's why you see people who are always afraid but don't have a certain stability emotionally and mentally, right? They will always be sickly, right? They will always be sick with some sort of situation or tired constantly because fear is something that consumes a lot of energy. Yes, it is a very dense emotion. It's not like feeling good or, feeling loving, not chemically in love, right? But simply feeling lovely. Yes, you just be, you just are. How much effort does it need to be, right? How much effort does it need to exist within you? You're just kind, you're just loving, you just are, right? It is hard in a way to experience that, yes, not to make it happen, to experience it in this environment because it was designed in such a way to make sure you're not going to be loving for too much. But if you can detach yourself from the mind, fear is also going to crumble as well. Why? Because fear in the end is your imagination unleashed. Without the concepts that it makes use of, right? It simply won't exist much. If we look at it, fear is also, uh, I can't call it a consequence, but it is also highly based on your logics, right? If you're not aware that you can drown, you will simply dive in the water and, you'll probably remember just then that you cannot swim. How many people died like that, right? Because Survival at a societal level will push people to do everything or so many things in order to draw attention to them because they feel that they are unworthy of attention because of abandonment issues and such. They will feel pushed toward things that will be a bit beyond them, right? Terribilism or whatever you call it, right? Well, if we are to think a bit about this, fear is at these three levels, but in the end, it is nothing else but a logical aspect. Yes, it is never an intuitive thing, because intuition is a higher level of logics, but the regular logics will trigger fear based on something that it cannot comprehend, right? If something cannot be comprehended, it is fight or flight, always. Yes? The more primitive minded someone is, they will live more and more into fear because, well, they don't know much and they have a conviction that everything they know is the most that there can be. So obviously they will always panic, right? Because there will be so many things beyond their comprehension. And when they don't understand something, it's fight or flight. Hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, enjoy life. And this being said, Ferenc Board signing out.